Ergoflex is pleased to present our industrial manipulators. This first application you see is a company that is using our equipment to pull shells from a preheat furnace and load them into a vacuum chamber of a vacuum furnace. You can see the operator is reaching into the box furnace, gripping the part, pulling it out, rotating it 180 degrees, and then loading it into the vacuum chamber. There's a very long extension on this tool. It's actually 8 feet long. The reason is because the box furnace is outside the building and there's an extended reach that's required. They close the chamber and pour the metal. This is another view of the same operation. You can see they just crack the door of the box furnace open, reach in, grip the part, lift it, pull it out, roll it over through hydraulic power, 180 degrees. They insert a cup there, and then load it into the vacuum chamber. Close the door, of course, and pour the metal. The extension on this tool is all made of stainless steel, as is the gripper mechanism itself. You can see the controls, not only for the gripper to open and close and rotate, but also to see the controls for the powered trolley. This machine is mounted on an overhead electrically powered trolley. You can see the trolley there. It's yellow in color. Now you can see they're going to pull the poured mold out of the vacuum chamber. Weighs up to 300 pounds in this application. Ergoflex has other model manipulators that have capacities up to about 1,500 pounds. You can see the operator has very precise control for very fine alignment. He's placing this hot mold onto an inverted crucible. It's a very tight fit. You can see how careful he can be and how accurate and precise his placement is. He releases the gripper and he's finished. This next clip is a short one, but it shows a direct pour application. You can see the operators pulling a hot shell out of the box furnace, turning around, and pouring metal directly into the hot shell. Then the operator places the poured mold in a rack and repeats the process. You can see this machine is a floor-mounted stationary unit. It also has an extension tool to reach into a box furnace. This next application is one of pouring metal. This machine is actually mounted on an overhead trolley, but it is positioned in a location that permits them to reach most all of the areas they need to reach in this particular application. You can see the operator just filled a crucible or a transfer ladle from the melt furnace, and he's pouring the molds on a sandbox. Others are bringing the hot shells to the area where he can pour. You can see the operator is pouring 2 shells with 1 ladle. You'll see he's going to repeat the process until he depletes the entire melt. This particular company dramatically increased their productivity after installing our Ergoflex manipulator. They increased their shell size by approximately 25% and hence increased their productivity and production by that same amount without performing any more pours. They also learned that after installing our Ergoflex manipulator, they were able to get 1 more melt per shift, largely due to the fact that the operator fatigue did not come into play. The process is completed and repeated. Until we see here that he is finishing this particular melt with the shells being placed on an adjacent sandbox. You note that the other sandbox is already full. Here again, pouring 2 shells per 1 ladle. And this process is being done with 1 operator on the pouring end, where it previously had been done by 2 people in a manual operation. The pouring process can be manually performed or in some cases hydraulically powered if it's a powered tilting tool. This particular tool is all manual. So he's completing the pour and completing the melt. In some instances, they need to do a back pour, and that can be done as well. Here you see another company. They just loaded a preheated crucible into the tool holder, and they're reaching under a hood to fill the ladle from a melt furnace. This machine is also mounted on an overhead trolley, you'll see in a moment. This company tends to locate the trolley in a single position when pouring from a specific melt furnace, and then move the trolley to different locations for different melt furnaces. This company saw a dramatic increase in their product quality and a great reduction in scrap, largely because of the consistency of which the operator was to pour metal, since fatigue did not change the pouring times as the days and the shift went on. This is another view of the same installation at the same company. It's a view from above where you can see the trolley a little bit better and the runway rails. It's obvious to note that there are a number of melt furnaces in a line, and the Ergoflex manipulator can be positioned in front of each of those for the different pouring operations. Ergoflex manufactures manipulators in many different sizes and configurations. Reach radiuses will range from approximately 6 feet up to 12 feet, with lifting capacities from approximately 100 pounds to 1,500 pounds. The trolley is electrically powered. The hydraulic version of our machines are completely self-contained. They run off of electric 360 volt, 3-phase, 60 hertz electric power. This last application shows a company using one of our Ergoflex manipulators to load parts in and out of a box furnace. This operation you see the operator performing now is reloading a box furnace after a pour is completed. The operator has a long fork to extend into the box furnace and just pierce the parts. This particular manipulator is pneumatically powered. It's a balancer, as we call it. It runs off of a shop air supply of approximately 80 psi. This installation shows a direct pouring application. The operator goes into the preheat furnace to grab a shell. He has a hydraulically powered gripper to grip the part around the neck of the cup, then manually rolls it over, takes it to the melt furnace where it's filled, still holding it in the gripper. Then he places it in the sand and leaves it to cool. This is another view of the same application. Once again, the operator is going into the furnace, grabbing the shell while it's cupped down, grips it, lifts it, manually rolls it over, takes it to the melt furnace, and fills. This concludes our demonstrations. Thank you.